Welcome to the show, Alison Wheeler, a singer, songwriter, and musician, former lead singer with the beautiful South. You have a wide-ranging musical talent. We can see from behind you all the sort of music you've got around you and the in your music room there. It's fantastic to have you on the show here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do tell us more.
Hello. My name is Alison. I've been singing professionally now for over 20 years. I don't know who you've had over the years to talk about their career journey, but mine was basically all singing, all dancing child, tap dancing, jazz, ballet, theatrical, clubs. Lost my way when I was about 18 and just went down the academic route and did very well with my A-levels and ended up going to Cambridge University just to do straight academia, law and Japanese. But during that time, I joined a covers band and reignited my interest for music. And much to my parents' disdain, I decided not to use my degree and to come to London and try and make it in the music industry, which I gave myself 3 or 4 years, and 7 years on, I'm still trying. You're very fortunate if you know what you enjoy doing to keep on knocking on all the doors, and eventually bruised knuckles from knocking at so many doors. One finally opened when I was doing a vocal session for Dave Hemingway from the beautiful South, and he was doing a solo album and said at the time, I think your voice would really suit the band. Would you like me to put you forward? And it's obviously this is an international reach as a podcast, but for any English person in the early 2000s, the beautiful South really were an institution. It was a household name. Everybody knew who they were. So it took me all of a nanosecond to think, yes, please. I would love to be considered. And that's where my real journey began of singing professionally. And 2002 met the band, and I've been working ever since, which has been wonderful.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a creator too, right? You're a composer?
I do, yeah. So I've got the beautiful South is now touring as the South, so that's celebrating the back catalogue, and nostalgia kind of being the operative word.
Yeah.
I write music for the South, and I also have a jazz outfit. I absolutely love jazz. I fell in love with it in the 90s, and I've taken the back catalogue of the beautiful South and reworked them in a jazz style alongside all the kind of classic torch songs that people remember.
Yeah.
Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong being one of my first albums that was introduced me to jazz music. And creatively, I also do a lot of co-writes. I travel around doing a lot of co-writes. It's quite an obsession of mine to meet people, and you'll always glean something new when you co-write. It's never something you'd come up with individually on your own. And I also write music for children's education, which has been a labour of love. Having two children myself, met a lady who was running an education class, and she really is a champion for women in business, and we just got talking, and she said, well, I would love to work with you, and I've co-written on 4 of her albums so far, and it's really just educating children about just basic skills that they need to progress into childhood and adulthood, really.
Through music. Fantastic.
Do you have kids too?
Yes, I do. I've got although they're not really children anymore, a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. None of them are musical yet, although my daughter, when she was 16, told me she wanted to be Prime Minister or a singer. And I was like, well, surely it could be both.
Singing,
I'm sure it could be both. Change the world one step at a time with music and politics.
Why not? Yeah.
I've always asked this question, and we got some amazing answers. How much do you love music?
That's a really interesting question. I get asked the same questions year on year for the last 20 years, and that's never been asked to me. I don't draw a line between, anybody who's doing a vocation doesn't draw a line between work and non-work. I just live and breathe music. So I get a real burst knowing that people have chosen to spend their hard-earned money to come and see my performances or come and listen to my music, because it just fulfills it. You're spreading joy, and they're choosing to. It's a really hard life out there for a lot of people, and to choose to spend that minutiae money on a ticket rather than mundane things like toilet paper or food. It's just it lights me up. I just find it so amazing.
Yeah. Do you write social conscious lyrical content?
I've never done anything like that before. Actually, I have written a song which I'm yet to finally get produced. It stemmed from growing up in the 90s and the 2000s and the changing climate and the way women are treated and respected. I was fed up of being called baby or darling. I find it quite a condescending tone sometimes. It belittles you as a person. And it was really like, all right, darling, all right, babe. I was like, I'm not your babe. I'm not your sweetheart.
Yeah.
So I went away and I wrote a song called Don't Call Me Sweetheart, because I thought it was time. It was the Roe and the Wade case had just been in the public eye, and I wanted to pull together all of those moments where women have to stand up and be counted and speak for themselves and say, now's the time to not call me sweetheart. I'm your equal. Don't belittle me. So that's very close to my heart, and I hope to get that produced. And I write from what I know, whether or not it's a conversation in a co-write, and we find a mutual agreement that there's a story or an emotion or an experience, and hopefully that's what you want. You want to communicate to the people who are listening that they can grab something that they can connect with. So is that this level of social connection you're talking about, or are you talking more of like a political level of sending a more broader message?
No, I mean, I've been writing social conscious music since 1984. And there's issue kind of songs that you can write. And then there's positive lyrical content, people that uplift people and inspire them. You know what I mean? And I tend to lean in that direction, writing songs that inspire. I've written for, you know, women's empowerment, to cancer survivors, to the homeless, and so on. And it's so rewarding because you're not talking about your personal feelings. You're talking about how we can help each other, heal and educate and solve problems. And it could be any kind of instrumentation whatsoever. But I always try to inspire people, write a song that's going to heal us.
Yeah.
What's your feeling about that?
On a more mundane level, I suppose, education for the children is along those lines. We had with COVID, there was ironically, we've already written a song about washing your hands, and it just seemed the perfect time to get that out.
Yeah.
As a way to educate kids and make a change.
That's right. Tom?
You've just mentioned it really with the sort of career that you've had. Any particular standout moments that you can think of, or any that really kind of pinch me moments that you thought, wow, this is really happening?
Musically, I think we perform. For me, I mean, obviously, whether it's a small venue of a couple of hundred people or a stadium, you get different energy from each gig. And Croke Park for me in Ireland was one of the biggest gigs I've ever done. That's a 90,000 capacity, and ironically, bittersweet. I had laryngitis, and they had to cut all my lead songs because I couldn't really sing. So I was there in body, and meeting icons like Jules Holland on the Late Show, on the Jules Holland show. I was gobsmacked to actually meet him anyway. But then they said, "Oh, he's going to play with you while you perform." I was like, what? He's going to actually play the piano while I'm singing. Oh my God. It's just been plenty of moments, whether it's been in America and singing Don't Marry Her, where San Francisco Bay is a key lyric and the whole place erupting, just because those little pockets and moments in time where it just feels so special. Touring the world has been amazing with the band, meeting megastars along the way like Brandon Flowers, and really just realizing that they're only human, and they're like just like you and me, and getting to talk with them one-on-one has been really, really special.
Sure. Do you find different energy based on where you perform in the world? Is there different sorts of audiences and different kind of vibes depending on what country it is, or is it just generally the same sort of feel for the audiences that you perform to?
We're predominantly touring the UK now, so it's a very special demographic now. If you think of the people who've grown up with the music, which was started back in 1989, Most of them are either nearing retirement, they've had their children, they've either had their mortgage and they've almost paid off, or they may have been fortunate to pay off a mortgage. And they are people who invest time in listening to albums rather than streaming one song and then jump into the next artist. So they would sit with an album, they'd look at the sleeve notes and they'd look at the artwork.
Yeah.
So these are people who have probably invested their life in these bands. So their commitment is second to none, and they will come again and again to these gigs and tell me, oh, I connect with this song because it marks a moment in my life when this happened. Or it could be extremely sad and it's got them through a hard time, or it could be an amazing first dance at a wedding. So the UK audience in that respect is really special. Germany is always amazing. It always surprises me because you always presume as a second language the irony might be lost, but it's really not. They've got the dry sense of humour I've come across for European. So touring in Germany is always fun, and they're really amazing fans.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of requests to come out to America and Australia, and I wish we could make the budget work, because it is everybody's so welcoming. So it's just, we have fortunately picked up new fans along the way with all the festivals that we do. 18-year-olds who've gone by chance to listen to the gig and then gone away and listened to the back catalogue. So it's nice to be bringing up new blood into the fan base. But it's all really special, no matter what part of the world it is, especially if they are at the same age as myself. I'm 53 now and growing up with that music. Yeah, it's just, there's a really strong connection, and it doesn't seem to have dropped off over the years.
No, it's great stuff. Yeah.
Your music kind of folk, did you say?
I've sung all sorts over the years. I was in a Crosby, Stills and Nash trio, which was wonderful, and we're re-releasing our album because it came out pre-digital streaming, unbelievably. So yeah, there was a lot of folky harmonies in my early years of singing. The Beautiful South as a band it was pop in the 90s and pop in the 2000s. Now I think it's more adult contemporary, because obviously it's not kept up with the current progression of pop music. I've been compared to Jackie, who was a singer before myself, as our vocal timbre is quite the same. But yeah, I love folk. Jazz is what I will go to listen to on a day off when I'm relaxing. Usually female vocalists, or I'm a bit partial to Bublé, and I think he can be quite Marmite. People either love him or hate him, but I do enjoy listening to Bublé as well. But I listen to all sorts, really.
Yeah. So who were some of the great jazz vocalists that you like?
I started with Billie Holiday and Ella and Louis. People might say she's not a jazz singer, but I really enjoy Doris Day as well. I love her purity of her voice. I think it's gorgeous. Julie London, Dina Washington. I enjoy big voices, so I'll enjoy Barbra Streisand as well as belting voices like Celine Dion. But yeah, I kind of always fall into listening to Ella Fitzgerald and Julie London. They're kind of my two.
I sang with Celine before.
Did you? What was your story? Come on, I need to hear.
Do you remember My Heart Will Go On?
Yes.
I sang on that.
Amazing.
Titanic. Yeah. So, and it's the highest grossing theme song for a film of all time. There's so many amazing jazz singers, back in the day, but I love it when they write something about, like I said, songs that heal, educate, and solve problems. I love social conscious singers. They just stand out to me because they're trying to help people, The song I referenced earlier about, which was kind of the Wade and Rowe thing, kind of got me thinking. It started off as quite a negative, but I rewrote it to be a positive, kind of like a call to arms for women, really, like empowerment, like you say, the word empowerment. So yeah, I haven't really written a lot, or at least I don't think I have. It may be that I've never really sat down and looked at the lyrics to see if they have more of a broader message rather than stuff that might have attached to myself, a story I might have attached to myself. You have your own band as well, right?
Well, the South are the working band that I sing in, and Southern Beauty is the jazz quintet that I'm in. And then I kind of sit at home and play around with Logic to come up with ideas. And then whether or not I'll get as far as producing it all myself is a bit of a choice for me, really, whether I want to give it 110% as long as I can finance it and find a producer, or whether I want to work it up myself to a certain level before I pass it on to a producer. So yeah,
Okay,
that's my setup.
wonderful. Tom?
Off the back of that, then, off the back of how you produce music and how you write music, what are your thoughts on the use of AI in music? Are you for it, pro it, not for it? What's your overall thoughts on that?
I hate to think that there's lots of stuff hidden in the small print of these, the tick boxes that you have on a screen, and nobody really clicks on the terms and conditions.
Very true.
I'd hate to think that there's something hidden in there. There's a lot of scaremongering going around. People are saying WhatsApp have got this little section. If you don't tick it, then they can use any of the content of your WhatsApp messages. It's free. They have ownership. So I don't know. I would like to think within the creative industry that there was more awareness of what was going on rather than having things hidden.
Hmm.
It needs to be a term and condition, agreed, but I think it needs to be predominantly like almost on the homepage if you're going to be using any of this, A, whether it's legal,
Very
B,
open and
whether the
aware.
stuff, yeah, B, whether the stuff that you're creating is going to be ripped or used by other people.
Yeah.
I find it really difficult with the whole plagiarism and bowing down to a style of music. That the Blurred Lines court case and the Ed Sheeran court case being two kind of similar cases, but one winning and one losing. I find it a very grey area. Interpolation versus plagiarism. It's really hard, and I think AI is already mixed into that as well, because are a stream of chords, if they happen to be used in one song, if those stream of chords also used in another song, have they copied, or is it just interpolation? It's such a grey area.
Yeah.
And the amount of conversations I've had with musicians, we're all petrified. I think it's a good starting block for people if they feel like they're short of ideas, as a jumping off point. Some of these websites where you can create an idea in a couple of minutes, that might be a good way to, that's interesting chord progression. Don't use any of that. Go away and think about the chord progression and maybe use that as a starting block to grow from. Yeah, I know that is it Suno? They're being taken to court. I know that there's a lot of the big ones are being taken to court. So who knows what's going to happen? It's a bit of a mess, to be honest. I think everything's growing too quickly. We could all do with a bit of a pause to try and work out how to protect everybody. God knows musicians have a hard enough time trying to maintain any kind of percentage of interest in anything nowadays. It'd be wonderful if there was somebody who could actually fight our corner and really know the ins and outs of it, and even the extra complications that we haven't yet thought of. Who knows how it might be used in the next 10, 20 years.
True.
AI to me is an interpretation of your original thought. So when you're writing something, it's coming directly from source, right? So then if you're going to give it to AI, then it's always going to be other people's interpretation of how you feel. Often imitated, never duplicated. So, if it's coming from your heart, you still have to tell them what you're feeling, and then you got to trust that they're going to bring that to life, And so I'm not in with the AI thing yet, you know what I mean? I want people to feel what I felt, especially if I'm doing a video, right? When I write the lyrics, that's the script, and I want it to stick to the script. You know what I mean? Not you're talking about something, they're showing you ocean over here. I don't like all that stuff. So, but listen, thank you for the privilege of your time coming on our show today.
Nice to meet you. Really nice to meet you. And you've given me plenty of food for thought about writing more with making a change on an international scale. We've been a lot more interesting. Maybe I should start thinking a bit more the bigger picture.
Yeah, well, life ain't all bad. You know what I mean? So we need to start talking about the good parts of life and the things that can make somebody feel better. and
I hear
all of
you.
us.
I feel blessed every day that I do what I love. So yeah, that there is lots of joy in the world, and I hope, hopefully we can all spread it. I mean, every time I get on stage and I see the joy that I'm spreading, then that gives me extra joy as well. So yeah, music is an amazing tool for that.
Definitely.
Listen, Tom's going to get all your information, and we're going to spread the love. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you
for
take care. All right, nice to meet you.
And you
as well.
just want to know really for our viewers and our listeners, how people can get in touch and sort of see what you're doing, any kind of social media presence you've got, and anything really that can kind of promote what you're doing with the band and with the tour.
Well, on all the social media handles, I'm Alison Wheeler Music, and I keep regular updates on there for all my projects. And Alison Wheeler Music #4 Kids, Alison Wheeler Music for Kids is the handle I use for my children's music.
Brilliant.
But yeah, and the main bulk of my time is the south.co.uk, and that's touring about 70 gigs a year. And you can catch us all over the country, really.
Good stuff.
Bless you for coming on. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. You take care.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.